Okay, let's see what he has to say and we'll comment on it. Let's see. Let's play here.
I have to explain it to you, okay? So just kind of track with me. Now, so sociologists, just track with me. I like nerded out on this. Sociologists, they did this study a few years ago where they were studying the happiest people on earth. And one of the groups of people they found were happiest is a little Christian sect called the Seventh-day Adventists.
Called the little sect.
And you can tell in their name, they're like really religious about keeping the Sabbath. Now, not...
Okay, point number one, at least they know that this is like really religious. It's not like once in a while. It's not like one Sabbath sometimes. So it's like every Sabbath, every seventh day. So point number one.
Some of the happiest people on earth, they bookmark this in your head. This is going to be real important in about 30 seconds. They, on average, live 11 years. 11 years.
Okay. Another point he's making, I'll fast forward a little bit. He's saying that they live 11 years more than the average American. Well, some studies say a decade, others say 7 years, but there's some, depending on where you look, right?
There's a variety of different numbers, but it is definite that the Seventh-day Adventists do live longer. And they like looking at Seventh-day Adventists because half of them are vegetarians, half of them are not, and they don't have to control for tobacco or alcohol because they don't smoke, we don't drink alcohol, and so they have a test group, which is the vegetarians, and a control group, which are those that aren't vegetarians, and they find out the benefits of the vegetarian food, and so it's a nice group to look at.
Excellent, excellent. Let's see.
Later, so you know I'm not cheating the numbers, okay?
Continue the video.
Now, let me show you this. Let me get the zoom in. So, what we just said, so the average lifespan in America, remember, they live 11 years longer than the average American, okay? The average lifespan in America is 77 years, okay? 77 years. Now, but what...
By the way, and I checked the 77 years. If you go on Google, it would tell 77.2, but there are other studies that would differ a little bit also, depending on where you look.
For the purpose of this is how many days does the average person live? So all we got to do, obviously, is multiply 77 times 365. The average person is going to live 28,105 days. Okay, now, what we want to know, though, is, okay, if a person kept the Sabbath in an average lifetime, how many Sabbaths would they observe? So obviously, a Sabbath, the command is once every 7 days to take a day of rest, holy unto the Lord. So what we need to do to figure how many Sabbaths would the person observe, obviously we just got to divide the number of days by 7 to get number of Sabbaths they'd observe. So if you do that, the average person in an average lifespan would observe 4,015 Sabbath days over a 77-year lifetime. Now, okay, cool, fine, that's a great little fact, Josh. Now, I'm just curious, if you said it in terms of years instead of days, how many years worth of just Sabbaths would a person enjoy during their lifetime? Well, obviously, 365 days in a year, so we just need to divide that number by 365, and we'll know exactly how many years worth of Sabbaths they observed, and guess what it is? Exactly 11.
Yeah, and then he's a funny pastor, so he's saying, wow, the math people now are blown away. Say, what? But he plays with the numbers, and he goes on with his sermon to talk about 4 reasons to keep the Sabbath, which I thought it was really interesting. There's a correlation there with rest, keeping the Sabbath, and longevity. And not only that, I guess, the studies also show it's not just to live more, it's to live healthier, right?
That's right, yeah. People sometimes fear getting old, that they're going to have an awful existence, and the last years might be in a nursing home, and so you really want extra years that are vibrant and full years.
Yeah.
Now, Adventists do live a lot longer than the normal population.